record again.
I'm going to let you and bring a lot more than a pen and a piece
I
of
just
paper.
did you a solid, Coach.
Just so you know. All right, well, how are you feeling about the preparations ahead of Georgia Tech in particular?
Yeah, we've had, we've had 3 good days of preparation so far, and the game plan's in. Guys understand it, so now tomorrow we'll polish it up. And, we still have mental preparation all the way up until game time. So we still have some work to do, but it's been good practices.
Has the recall been effective in terms of the little bit of time you guys have spent on Sundays?
It has been. Yeah, the things that we worked on those Sundays, when we got out here and practiced on Tuesday, those guys had it, no problem. Now the new things that we threw at them were all different. So, but it was a typical Tuesday practice really. With when you start installing a new game plan, you always got errors at that point. But today was much better.
I know you don't venture much into the defensive meeting rooms, but with this kind of offense, with your experience with Fisher DeBerry, does that provide you any kind of additional insight that's of value?
Well, yeah, and we've played we've played them now for 3 years, so we have a. You understand what their philosophy is and what they're going to do and what that does to you to the other side of the ball and how important the special teams are and all those things, because you have to be efficient because you're not going to get a lot of drives, and that's just the way it's designed. So you got to do a really good job. You got to move the chains. Defensively, we got to create some takeaways, and that's going to be important.
Has Coach Warren been a little bit more of an asset this week too, because so much of his career as a player, as a coach, was at Air Force when they were running the triple option?
Well, he obviously in that room has a lot more experience with it than anybody else, so I'm sure they've leaned heavily on him and his advice.
How much more of a test is Georgia Tech for this defense than maybe any other team you've played this year, just knowing what they do?
Yeah, it'll be the biggest test that we faced. I mean, because of what they do offensively. That's why they're one of the national leaders in rushing and all those things, because of what they do. So, we know what that we have our work cut out for us, but I'm sure our guys I'm sure they'll be ready to go and be prepared.
What are some things you took away from the Duke tape about how Duke kind of handled that triple option?
They played hard. They defeated blocks. They scored basically 2 touchdowns in the special teams, and then they created some turnovers. So a pretty good game plan for beating a triple option football team.
Intend to emulate that in some way?
I'd like to. Yeah, it'd be nice. If we can do that, I'll take it.
How has your prep for Georgia Tech this year different from the past 3 years, your first 3 years?
Well, I would say that all the preparation going into it, there was a lot more preparation going into the week than we have in the past. So I thought they were, and then your scout teams also were a lot more organized and a lot more efficient because they have been doing it, now every week, so they felt comfortable doing it, which is a big part of it because it's hard to simulate what they do.
What exactly was the most thorough part of the extra preparation this week?
Well, what we did in those 4 or 5 weeks that we had previously, we picked out probably about 5 of their best things that they do, and those were the things we focused on that whole time, so the guys got more comfortable with those things. Yeah, hopefully that'll pay off for us on Saturday.
Is their defense a step better than they were last year?
I think their defense is better. I think their defense, after our game, they really started getting on a roll and started playing really well, and I think they picked up exactly where they left off. I think they're playing well. You look at what they're doing and what they've given up. It hadn't been much. They're making people work for their points.
Coach, they've already forced 10 turnovers on the year. Obviously, you never want to turn the ball over, but has the emphasis been greater with your quarterbacks, your running backs, and protecting the ball?
I wish I could everybody could say, yeah, it's been greater, but we can't emphasize it any more than we emphasize it every single week. I don't go in there and say, okay, guys, we need to emphasize not turning it over this week. It's our #1 key to victory every single week, and it's been that way since we stepped foot on this campus.